Well, hello from East Texas. I'm way down in the thriving metropolis of Garden Valley. I'm hanging out with my buddy Roland here. He's former LDMer, both from, well, right here. Last Days Ministries is where we met. Awesome place. We still like to say hi to all the LDMers out there. We're on our way to go visit with a couple more LDMers, Joan and Randy and stuff like that. So, pretty hectic week. Spoke in Tucson, then spoke twice in Phoenix, and drove over to Greene, Kansas, and spoke at a school there twice during the day, and then once in the evening did an adults talk, and then drove down to south of Topeka in a little town called Yates Center. From there, I went over to Dallas, stopped in at David Lyons and Linda Lyons' place on the way through, and then went down to Dallas, shot 2 shows with Carl. He was sick, unfortunately, but we still had 2 good shows anyway. It was a lot of fun. Always enjoyed being in the studio and seeing all the guys there, and same crew has been there for years. Good bunch of guys. So anyway, that was a blast. And then, so all along the way, of course, I've gotten to do quite a bit of research on various things, such as the death pose, and I talked about this in the show, and that's where we find dinosaurs buried in this specific death pose with their head arched all the way back. And so some of the research I did is, well, like this clip here. Well, here we are at the Ostrich Ranch on the side of I-10, I think it is. And I just talked to the owner. Specifically mentioned to him, you know, I'm interested in studies in the death pose. I've been told ostriches will tend to bend their necks back when they die. And he says, nope, I've seen them in every position. So there you have it. Easy. Yeah, you can hear this because it's gale force winds, but here I am at Meteor Crater. Nice because it's pretty warm. 7,000 feet altitude, and it's actually quite cool here. Okay, here we are at the Petrified National Forest. Or Petrified Forest National Park, I should say. And I'm investigating this partly because of some things that Walt Brown is arguing, and I do have to agree with him. These logs were very clearly busted up after they were petrified. That's very obvious just by the breaks in them. Notice it appears none of them have bark or branches. There's a branch broken off right there. As you can see for yourself, there appears to be no bark on any of them. That's also important. Now, Walt's arguing for time here. The question arises, how long does it take to petrify a tree? So, I'm just looking at, okay, let's zoom in here. Looking at the far side of the canyon walls, there's a ton of talus on the walls. Lots of it. And that's an indicator of some of the speed, water speeds and stuff like that. There was definitely current going through here. It took out the soft place. There appear to be no polystrate trees here. At least I've never heard of any. I don't think anybody else knows of any either. Some of these logs are just absolutely gargantuan. Very impressive. We're also at a pretty decent altitude here. But you check out this log here. That's easily 30-40 feet long. Probably 3-4 feet across at the base at the far end. Okay, so I'm trying to identify the layer that they're coming out of. Okay, these ones are relatively intact, and they just appeared as I came down off the crest of the hill. I'm gonna take a wild stab at 75 feet, give or take, from the top of the planation surface. So it's definitely not superficial. It's definitely not the top. It's somewhere down below. I can't exactly nail it down just yet. I'm still looking. Well, there's a nice butte over here, and I'll go and check it out and see if we spot any outcrops. Okay, as you can see, there's one log right there. We're almost at the top. That's only about 5-10 feet from the top. I did find some others, and they were about exactly where I figured, about 50 feet down. Some interesting cross bedding here too, and it looks like there was some cross bedding where the other logs were as well. So I got to cut out of here. Park's closing, and I got to head back up to I-40 and then cut across over to Albuquerque. So en route to Kansas now. Sun's going down, so I guess I won't be able to visit the Painted Desert, but that's okay. I'm going to try very hard to get back here, possibly even on this tour if I can. But we'll see. I don't know if I can afford the time or the money or the wear and tear on the vehicle. Okay, all the other logs I saw were in fairly loosely consolidated sediments, but this one is in what looks like pretty hard sandstone, and does appear to be some cross bedding in them.